And thank you, gentlemen. I want to start, Chairman Powell, with some of the comments I think you've made, and I want to reinforce them. I think we all realize and understand that losing a job at any point in your lifetime is an enormous challenge. Losing a job in the midst of a recession could be, or depression could be devastating. I point to the survey that the Fed put out last week that literally said 40% of our fellow Americans who make less than $40,000, 40% of those folks had their jobs disappear between February and March. We all know as well that 36 million Americans were unemployed. We're at depression levels of unemployment. And I think statistics have always shown that particularly losing a job during a recession could actually incur long time income losses, up to 19% over the coming decade, some of the statistics that I've seen. So I would again like you to take a moment to say, we have to measure overdoing versus underdoing, but with this type of devastation, with this type of pain disproportionately hitting low and moderate income Americans, can you speak to us of the results and the long-term scars this would present if we don't take aggressive action?
Thank you. I'd be glad to. So there is clear evidence that when you have a situation where people are unemployed for long periods of time, that can permanently weigh on both their careers and their ability to go back to work, and also weigh on the economy for years. Equally so with small and medium-sized businesses, which are the jobs machine of our great economy. If we allow unnecessary, avoidable insolvencies because of effectively a natural disaster, that too will destroy the work of many families and generations, but it'll weigh on the economy. So those are things to keep in mind. As I said earlier, this is the biggest response by Congress ever, and the fastest and the biggest from us. And still, this is the biggest shock we've seen in living memory. And the question looms in the air of, is it enough? And we'll have to.
And I would argue that historically, whether it's our country or other nations, that governments tend to undershoot during these periods. And we now have 36 million Americans without work, and 40% of the folks under $40,000 a year losing their work, that this scar could be deep and wide.